Not sure what title to give this video. I usually try to start with the title, but anyway, it's the custom build of my SF30B, and this is where I'm at right now. Of course, you see it's not done. I just got done putting the decals on the cab. I'm not going to put the cab all the way down because when I get ready to gloss coat it, I don't want, because I don't have the glass in it, I don't want the glass coat to go all the way across the cab. I want to be able to take the cab off later and put the glass in rather than trying to mask it. This Loco was undecorated. I washed it with Dawn dish soap like I normally do, and I rinsed it really well. And then I scuffed it up with a scuffing pad, but the paint still does not stick. I tried painter's tape, and I gotta say the frog tape, the green painter's tape, is better. I used that years ago with some of the other custom Locos that I've done, but I made a mistake and I bought some of the blue painter's tape a while back, a few months ago, and I still have it, and it's too thick. It doesn't seal very well over contours, and if you overlap it, it doesn't seal. The paint ends up going underneath the tape and makes a mess. So I ended up, this is all done by hand and a brush. And the other thing, this is all mixed by me. I try to keep, if you've seen my videos, I've got like $35,000 worth of stuff down here, and I'm married. My wife doesn't care how many Locos I have. She cares about how much money I spend on each one. Like if I go out and buy a Locomotive with sound for over $200 like you guys are doing, I'm going to hear about it. But she doesn't care if I spend $50 on a Loco and a few dollars to do a custom Loco, because I tell her, well, it's worth more than what I paid for. And this is definitely worth more than what I paid for. I paid like $55 for this. And I'm sure it's going to be worth several hundred when I'm done with it. I got to fine tune the paint. This is painted with a brush, with the paint that I mixed up, believe it or not. See, it was nice years ago when I had hobby shops nearby and I could buy flow quill and scale coat and model railroad cutters that Tester made, but Tester quit making it about the same time I was buying the stuff in the hobby stores, and the hobby stores are no longer in business. So what do? I go to Hobby Lobby. I get one of these for under 20 bucks. It comes with a brush, and you guys got to know your primary colors. Here's your primary colors right here. I don't have green in here right now. I use these up real quick, and I just go get another one. If you need to make green, different shades of green, that's green. This is purple. This is orange. It goes all the way back to kindergarten when your teacher was giving you paint, water-based paint for you to play around with, and showed you the primary colors, and you're mixing paint and stuff. It's basically grade school, okay? Try to make your own paint rather than spending $20 to $30. I looked on eBay. I couldn't find scale coat anymore. Only in blue, but I couldn't find blue and yellow. I found yellow Badger Santa Fe. I don't like Badger paint. I tried it before, and I don't want it set up for airbrush. If I want it, put it in an airbrush, I'll mix it with some distilled water, but I want it thick, so if I wanted to paint it on with a brush, I could do that. And then True Colors. I have no idea if that's any good or not. I'm going to assume everything's garbage, just like everything else in this world now is garbage. You can't find quality anything anymore. So I mix up my own paint. And the reason, you get a brush with these, and it's not really the best brush. I should have bought another brush. But I mixed this up a while back. I've had this for 2 years, and I finally finished it last winter. And I took stuff off of it, and I tried to mix up the proper yellow to blend in with that, and I had a hell of a time. On the front here with the cutout, that doesn't matter because they didn't have the right shade paint anyway. But anytime I get something that I've done that doesn't look quite right, I just go ahead and make it dirty. Dirt covers a lot. You know, if they're going in and out of tunnels with the locomotives, they get dirty. So then I moved on to this one a couple months later, a month after I did this one, and I still had this paint mixed up. This is the Cotto. And you see, took the cab off. I blended in. I didn't paint the whole thing. I blended in with Cotto's Santa Fe Blue. Okay, so I still had some left over. And I just decided to do one of these a few months ago. I saw a video of one, and I thought that was so cool. I got the trucks coming. It's supposed to have FB2, not AAR. These are AAR. It's supposed to have FB2, more like a B23-7 trucks. So those trucks are coming from Atlas, and I'm going to change out that B30-7A2, change trucks on that. And then while I was doing this one showed up on eBay because I've been trying to get one of these SD45-2 shells. I wanted one really cheap. Rail Power Products is about the cheapest. Of course, they don't make them anymore. They are out of business. I think Athearn bought them. That's why Athearn started making SD45-2s ready to roll, and they're all over $100, so I can't get one cheap. So and don't ask me why there's 2 blocks there, but I had a hell of a time with these blocks. I carefully measured it before I measured the decals, the BNSF decals, and then I put my tape on there after I measured the decals, and I was off. The box was too small for the decal. I ended up not having any space on each left or right side of the letters, so I had to put some more paint on it, and every time you paint over old paint, it never blends in well. In the letters, I already had the decals all set there, and just basically I made a mistake, and it's a mess. So I'm going to end up making this one dirty. I've got to do the numbers on the back. I just did the BNSF on it, but here's and I got to do the numbers on that. And then I found this on eBay a week ago, and I happen to have a Genesis, and this is sunlight. I happen to have a Genesis FP45 frame because I did that Montana rail link over here. I got a Milwaukee Road FP45 for $60 on eBay, and I wanted a Montana rail link, so I had to buy a Genesis frame, F frame, and I had to buy a blue box shell with the dynamic brakes to get the fans and stuff on there. So that's custom made. I just couldn't find one on eBay cheap, and I get more satisfaction building something rather than just buying it off eBay, because I try to make it as best I can. Like I just showed you, there's mistakes on that. It's not perfect, and I'm sure you can find mistakes on this. I'm not quite done yet. I got to do the blue there, the curve around underneath the cab. And like I said, I don't have the right tape. And then I got to do the numbers in the back. Oh my God, that's going to be fun. Going to be really small numbers. And I got to do the BNSF logo, or the Santa Fe logo, the bonnet on or the cigar band on the front. I got to do that yet. And then I got to do the handrails later. What I do is I get a Loco, I wash it with Dawn dish soap, scuff it up a little bit for the paint to stick, and I do my modifications, and then I take some older paint, some paint that I don't really need, or even something the same shade, and I paint over it to see how my modifications went, and if I need to sand it, I'll sand it. And after I get all of it sanded, because I use that Millie Putt to fill in the cracks and grooves, and then when I get it the way I like it, like I said, I didn't airbrush this, I painted this, and it's been painted several times in some places because I tried doing the bonnet there, and I think it was the other side, and you could see where the tape pulled off some of the paint. So I still got to sand that and do that, because and when you're painting with a brush, you paint panels. Like, you'll paint a panel if you need to fix an area. if you've got some debris on that panel, you sand it, and then you have to paint the whole panel until you get to the next groove, and you won't notice it. But if you paint over just the part you sanded, you'll notice it, because see, there's a defect there. I tried sanding that down several times, but it's going to be good enough. After a while, you get tired of messing with it. And then when you're painting it, I can't video this while I do it. Or maybe I can. We'll see. Hold on. Alright. Oh, this may not be the best location. Let's go over here. I got my cheap brush. And you always want to have some water. So if the brush starts to get a little thick, plugging up, dip it in water. Or if the paint's a little bit thick, I'm going to set it on a rag. And here's a half of a loco shell I probably won't use, but even if I do, I can sand it down. Alright, so this pretty wet. What you do is just keep it flowing. Find an air bubble, go back and pick it up. There's some debris there. Try to get it off somewhere where you can get it out of the way. But you see, you keep it flowing. And you try not to have different shades, you know, different thicknesses. Sometimes if you just go like this, because you can do several coats of this. It's just like airbrushing. Lighter colors are harder because you come across the contour. It's hard to get the paint to stick to that contour. See, this right here is a little wet. I didn't stir up the paint really well. I'll just grab something I haven't used in a while and I don't really need. And after you go over it, you really don't want to go back because it's already starting to set up, drying out. And then once it dries out, if you put your brush in there, you're going to see the marks. You won't be able to cover it up unless you get it really wet again. You see? You're just letting it flow. You want to do it in a horizontal flat. You don't want it vertical. You don't want it up and down. And don't leave any air bubbles or any strokes. See, there's an air bubble there. But you see? You know, if I let that dry for a few hours and come back the next day, and if I don't like it or some spot that I don't like, I can sand it and I can do it again and do several coats. Like I said, I didn't have enough paint to airbrush. It seems like when you do an airbrush, a lot of that paint goes into the air. It just seems to use up more versus, because I don't have much of this left. I could probably, and I didn't want to add to it and take a chance I've ended up changing the shade. So I didn't add any to the paint that I had. When I do the handrails, I'll try to make some more, and sometimes handrails aren't quite as technical. They are if they were when they're over the previous color, but when they're up like that, sometimes it's hard to notice. And this right here, I have more blue than yellow, so I still got some blue to do here and there. And then back to this. Yeah, I'm going to try to restore this, but I'm waiting for Athearn doesn't currently have parts, but they got a new run coming out in October of this loco, and I'm hoping maybe I can get some parts because we got 26 bucks into this, and I've already put the decals on it and changed the number. It was 100. Took the Santa Fe lettering off the bottom there and put on the red Santa Fe, and I can still get the trucks and the motor for it. So anyway, that's where I'm at on this loco here. if I were to grade myself, I'd give it a B. I probably could have done better, but I don't have the best tools, and I don't have a real steady hand like I used to have anymore. And sometimes after I've been doing it for a little while, I gotta quit and wait till the next day because it's hard to be steady. You get tired after a while. All right, thank you.